Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Opus Magnum. We, I guess, just hired a thief to steal a bunch of lead for us, and now we're going to turn it into everything cool. I guess purifying water wasn't really interesting. It wasn't, it was a fine puzzle. It just wasn't really part of the ongoing story of, like, how do we build up an alchemical engine out of nothing. But okay, here we are, moving on. Building apparently seal solvent. That's what you dissolve seals in, right? Attaching the seals to orders and invoices was always such a chore. The thought of undoing one is a little thrilling. Yes, bold and daring. The seals are complex, but the glue isn't. A weak point in this system. Yep. Okay, great. Uh-huh. If no one misses it, is it really stealing? Who knows? Who can say? So, what are we supposed to make? This. And this is that tin? This is lead, and after that, I think the next one is tin, right? I know the next one is tin, but is that tin? Yes, it is. Okay. Weird that it pivots around this point. Alright, whatever. So, what is the big idea here? We have several things. We need a bunch of salt. We need to put the water in unharmed. And upgrade this once and then glue it all together. Okay. Well, we're making sort of a long chain of things, mostly. Which means we kind of want one glyph of bonding, along which we sort of just want to push the thing, I think. So the other thing of note is that almost all of this is... The output that we want is almost the same shape as, if you remember, when we made hair product, right? It's this whole shape with like an extra thing on the end right here. And there's a very compact way to do this, of just like kind of push things along it. You know, put them on one end of the thing and slide them at the other end, and just go back and, like, you can reuse that bonding glyph quite easily for something of this shape. So I think that's something we will strive to take advantage of in this solution. Which means we sort of want one arm that is doing this somehow. I think probably we will want to put these bits on last rather than first. You could imagine doing it either way, but I think it's going to be simpler if we do it last. Right, so we get the water, we push it further, we put salt on, we push that, we get this salt on, we push it, we get this salt on, now we're holding it by this, and it's sort of shaped like that at this point. I guess the problem is that as we build it, we're sort of building it... We can build it in whatever order we like, and we'll end up holding on to the thing at the end opposite that. So okay, let's sort of try to do this by hand a little bit here, and imagine what this is going to be like. So we have an arm. I don't know exactly how I'm just trying to do this by hand, how I'm trying to visualize this. But the idea is we have a thing like this, right? And this is how we're building the stuff. And let's try to put the water in last. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, we'll be taking things in from here. we'll take this salt first, and we'll push it up. Then we'll come in and grab another salt, push it up, grab another salt, push it up, grab some water, push it up. And at that point, we'll have water here, salt, salt, salt. And so it'll look exactly like this. And then if we just take the whole thing and rotate it left, we'll get rotate it left twice. It'll be in the right orientation to accept tin here. So I think that's the idea, is to try and build it in that direction. We grab stuff here, we push it here. Okay. So that's sort of the main assembly line here. And then all of the workhorse, you might say. Not really an assembly line, because it's just one thing happening. And all the rest of the work is going to be putting the right materials here. We would like, if possible, to do it quickly. So we're pushing stuff like this. We'll eventually, yeah, so this is a perfectly safe place to stand, so to speak. We're putting the water in last. We're putting salts and stuff in first. So I imagine something like this with a glyph of calcification here that will swing the water through several times. But also, like, it's probably better to be able to use multiple different... If we're going for speed, which I think is a fun thing to go for here. We have 3 different reagents, and we can turn... Can we turn any of them into salt? Well, you can't turn tin into salt, right? It's a metal. But we can turn these into salt. Oh, and we can't turn mercury into salt either, can we? No, we can't. So actually, you can only turn water into salt, which simplifies the question a bit, I think. Interesting. This makes it a bit more complicated to get. Because if we want to move a thing, if we want to move the stuff to here, right, then there's 2 ways to do that. One is this way, and one is this way. And wouldn't it be nice if one of them, and one of them goes through salt and the other doesn't? So that way we can just decide whether we want salt or not by which way we swing it around. And we want salt most of the time, so we'd like that to be the closer one. And we want water rarely, so we'd like that to be the further one. However, the problem is you can't do this whole action except on the first step, because meanwhile this guy's been putting a bunch of salt up here, right? Whoa, I just had an idea. Okay, so you don't have to turn it into salt before you bond it. We can put the salt machine here, because that's a spot that we're going to be putting all the salt in, right? And then when we finally get the last one, the water, we're going to leave it here and not saltify it, calcify it, I should say. So actually, we can do this, right? So let's just demonstrate what that would look like with an incomplete solution. sort of like this, where we're just going to keep going forever, but eventually I'll make it stop, and I can say, here's the point we'll be at when it's time to make... So see, now, if we were to spin this way twice? Yeah, twice. We would be in the right position to put tin here. Yeah. It's gonna be a bit tricky to actually drop this object once we're done with it, with an arm this short. I think we in fact won't be able to, but we can just add another arm or something. Or make this guy a piston, probably, would be the way to go. I think would work. No, piston won't help because this guy's... There's gonna be some tin dangling off the end here. Okay. Well, I think we can simplify matters a bit by spending, in a sense, some area. If we do this instead, then there's a lot more room to work with on rotating stuff out of here. Of course, that's not what we're not actually going to do that. But so the idea is then to have... Let's see. A glyph of growing stuff like this. Probably we can get away with this, in fact. I don't know about this. I think that collides. I don't think we can put a thing here while we're doing that. But I guess we're only upgrading once. We maybe don't have to collide. We can start moving it at just the right time. If we put the arms like this. So we get the Mercury in place early, and then just when it's time, we swing this just through here real quick. And then it's in the right place. Yeah, I think that works out all right. So just give me my Mercury here. And another fixed length arm. Okay. So now instead of, well, wait, I actually do want that. Come back. So I remember there was a recent puzzle where I couldn't use the please copy your previous instructions. And that was because there was some stuff I didn't want it to copy, but here we actually do want to copy everything, so that's fine. Just do this 4 times? And you as well, I think? Is that the right number? No, this... Oh, yeah. No, this guy should only do it 3 times. And then after the 4th, we want him to do a little bit different. So grab, turn, spin, spin. Oh, it merged in perfectly. Right, this is the correct shape. But we just need to put a different element there, which should be fine. So what actually happened? Did this guy go too many times? No, it's just we got to the end of the program and he went and started over. So that's fine. We'll just make more stuff happen out here and he'll be fine. So we have to program these 2 arms. What's their deal? Well, this guy wants to... He wants to drop it off at the same time that this guy finishes his last spin. So like this. And then we'll work backward from there. He should have done a right move just before that. And another right move just before that, and then he should have picked it up, right? Okay, you, though, like, knock it off, please. Just, like, do nothing. Wait a very long time. Perfect. Of course, it's still the wrong element, but we're working on that. It should be very easy, in fact. We just can take this guy and say, please do this. Like, that's all. You can do it as early as we like, and it's not going to cause any trouble. Now we've made the right thing. And all that remains to be done is to put it into a goal area, which we can do in a number of ways. I think that, let me just confirm that this is in fact a correct orientation. Yes. I think that the simplest way to do that is to make one of these two into a piston arm so that we can push it that way, right? It's going to cost us 10 extra gold, and I don't think we can really do much better than that. We could add another arm, of course, but why? And the one who should do it is not this guy, but this guy, because 1 is very busy all the time. We don't want to give him extra cleanup tasks. 3, it's perfectly fine to give some cleanup tasks to. He has a long time before he has to do any work again. So we'll just replace him with a piston arm, like so, and give him... He has a release here, actually, but there's no real reason for it. Instead, we can just make that be the extend and then go back, right? Like so. I think this looks about done. Let's step through it, though. So we put all that to... Hang on, it's not done because I didn't do this. Okay. Now we swing that through. It lands. This guy releases and we push this over. And he gets back just in time to pick up the next shipment. So this is not bad in terms of area used up, I think. It's not great, but it's fine. And not as good on cycles as I would have guessed. I guess you can optimize this a fair bit more somehow. What else jumps to mind? What else could you do? The main thing I can see is that, like, you could take water off of this twice as fast if you could arrange to scoot it off twice as fast, the same way we did in the hair product puzzle. But it's not so easy to do when there's all these additional moving parts, so I think I'm not going to. I think the solution is perfectly fine with me. It's not amazing, not a work of art, but it's pretty cool all the same. It seems a solvent like this would have applications well outside the specific mission we've discussed. You can keep it. Okay. I'm not planning a life of crime, just one. Okay. I feel like we should have sold it to him, not just told him to keep it. I don't think he was asking for a donation. Okay, well, yeah. All right, we'll see if we can get one more puzzle in. It's been too little time to end an episode, but enough time that I don't think I'll finish another puzzle before it's been maybe an unreasonable amount of time. All right. Anyway, were we still at House von Tassen? I cannot say that, by the way. I could supply you with any amount of rope and stuff. Okay, so he needs rope, but we're just gonna make some. Okay, and I assume, yes, it's an infinite thing. So we want to take some earth and turn it into earthy salt all glued together. This is cool. This is actually the puzzle that that he uses in the promotional teaser video, I think. It looked basically like this. One of the puzzles in that video, anyway. Okay. Well, this is a fun set of bonds to make, isn't it? It would be relatively easy with one of... Well, no, it wouldn't actually. This doesn't make bonds shaped right. Okay. So, bleh. I don't know how to start on this. Things I'm thinking about are how many glyphs of bonding do we need? Do we want one? Do we want more than one? How many more? How do we actually make use of many of these? I think it would be a good idea and should be possible to pull from this every 2 turns. We need a ton of this stuff per cycle. Right, we need 4. So maybe optimizing for cost is going to be the fun thing on this. Or speed. I thought I was doing that on the last puzzle, but I ended up not doing it at all. I don't know, really. I didn't really optimize for anything in particular. But here there's sort of this implicit challenge of okay, here's your one reagent. How fast can you use it up? And basically, so if we're taking one of these out every 4 ticks, does that necessarily mean that we're spending exactly 8 ticks on making the thing? Or is there an assembly line kind of thing where it's oh, you can take 30 ticks per thing, for example. 30, it's just an arbitrary number. You'll just have a lot more stuff in flight. And I think that's true. I think we can build an arbitrarily long assembly line that would have as many of these things in flight as we want. And we could still be taking from this at maximum speed. So we can just sort of have a factory sort of thing where we do steps as simply as possible. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. So I think we can do that. And I was thinking about that because I wanted to know whether we had an 8-turn limit. And I think it means we don't. We can spend as long as we want on this. Well, that wouldn't optimize perfectly for cycles, right? In the long run, we'll produce, the limit over time, as time goes to infinity, of amount of rope per second will approach the optimum. And likewise, cycles per rope also approaches the minimum. But we'll still be behind by a constant, the more steps we have in our assembly line. So it still is beneficial to try to have as few steps as possible. And the fewest possible steps, I think, is a little bit more than 8. Maybe? It's in that neighborhood. 8 plus or minus 2 or something, I don't Okay, so all of that talk aside, I haven't put anything down on paper yet. I've just been talking about this puzzle for 5 minutes and haven't done anything. But I think that's valuable. To have some idea of like what your plan is going to be ahead of time helps a lot. So we obviously need 2 grabbers on this. That's the only way you can produce stuff fast enough. And I think this is I was thinking, like, is this a good time for tracks? But I think it is. I think so. I'm not sure exactly how to use them. But the idea would be to grab onto... I was imagining like grabbing onto this thing and dragging it through like some bonds, but you can't really do that because if it's not already bonded together, then dragging it doesn't do you any real good, right? You might as well just use like pushers and pullers. All right, well... Let's say we're shipping this stuff to here. I don't know. I just want to get started. So this is sort of the fastest assembly line we could get. We still have to do stuff with all of this, but I think it's fairly clear, like, one useful thing we can do is, as soon as the first one arrives, push it out of the way onto a bonding plate, right? Like this. Grab. Bond. So extend. And we're going to do something interesting here and just extend again. This is costing us 3 ticks. Is that fine? I think it is fine. I'm not sure. Oh, we can't... So I was thinking that the idea would be, okay, we're using up 3 ticks, but we'll have another guy on this side who's pulling, who like does... We're using up 3 ticks, but we're not just handling a single bit of this stuff, we're handling like 3 of them, and so that should be like fast enough. Actually, maybe it just is fast enough? Maybe I don't need a second one to take away the load at all, because this is... I keep throwing this away. Yeah, so what we could do is just this. Wait, why is this guy not going again? Oh, because I didn't tell him to repeat. Okay, you guys are both repeating though, so whoops. So that we can get is that right, dude? Yes, we're getting stuff out as fast as possible. And we've bonded it all together, mostly. And now all that remains is to put another grabber somewhere. So what state are we in exactly when this happens is what's interesting. Oh. We can just have a grabber right here that rotates this. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't expect it to turn out so nicely. We'll just say when we get to here, or here? Grab onto it and then spin it to the right. And then I guess go back to what you were doing, right? Look at that! It's the right shape, isn't it? No. Wait, we don't need 8 of these. I somehow was thinking because we needed to bond 4 things together that we needed 4 things per cycle. But we don't. We just need 3 things per cycle. Per, bit or whatever. And we need to bond this with what's coming up next, not with a 4th thing from the first stage, but with the first thing from the second stage. Okay. So I think that that's still, like, totally in line with what I was doing. I just hadn't really thought it through yet. So wait, why are these guys idle exactly? I don't know. I need to like just let go of this, I guess, after that. Or wait, maybe we don't need this arm at all, do we? If we could do it with just this one if we wanted to. We could have it on its way back, grab onto this or something. Yeah, it's actually turning into the right shape already. Oh no, it's not, because I'm bonding it and then reaching out and grabbing this part and spinning it again. So I need to spin it before it gets bonded onto the thing from the next go around, yes? Well, I did that. I guess what I need to do is not bond it onto the next iteration until it's completely built. So I need to build these 3 wide thingies and then use a separate bonding stage to combine them, right? I can't use the first bonding stage because then I'm gonna be stuck with having to rotate it afterwards. Yeah, I don't see any way around that. Okay. So I guess then what I do is like get it out of the way and then go back. Now that it's there, and new things will be appearing here. Which direction am I pushing this, I guess? I guess it doesn't matter whether it's which way it's oriented. All right, let's can I, hello? Oh, grab this. Can I not rotate this at all because it's infinite or something? I guess I don't see a way to rotate it. Okay. I was trying to rotate it to make it orient right with what I'm looking at here, but it doesn't matter. I can just imagine it. Hopefully. I'm not so great at visually imagining things. My spatial reasoning is not so great. I'm just trying to figure out... no, don't go back. Where I should put this glyph of bonding. Like, is it here? Is that the thing? Obviously we want calcification here and here-ish. And they could be here, whatever. And we need something up here pushing on it. Yeah, except we hit that, don't we? Well, okay, instead of a piston, let's use something on a track. Like that. We'll grab onto it, push it forward a step, and then come back. That way we're not in the way when this thing swings around. Oh, except it needs to go in that direction, doesn't it? That's a bit annoying. So, okay, first thing to note is that means we have this rotated wrong. The direction that I arbitrarily chose to rotate this in was the wrong one, and I should spin it the other way. What? Oh, I accidentally did the wrong thing. Okay, I turned its right rotate into a left spin or whatever. That's the wrong way. Do that. That's the right way. Wait, what? Does that mean I don't need this at all? Yeah, it's already facing the right direction. Okay, cool. Oh, I was originally rotating it because I thought I wanted to fit a fourth thing here, but I don't. Okay. So that's lovely, I guess. I can just do that and it's going to be the right size. And then I can just take this, basically? Oh, and I think... Or, well, here, right? I was going to say, I think I can use this space. Maybe what I need to do is make this a little bit longer so that it swings out of the way. Is there some... And then I could... Yeah, then I'll have space, I think, like about here to put a pusher arm. Yeah. One of these. Can I fit it here? Yeah, I can. All right. So then when this guy lets go, we pick it up, push it forward one, and we go back. Right? Oh, well, not yet. Silly. At what stage do I feel comfortable pushing it forward? Oh, I can just put the bonder there, right? And then that actually gets there. Sure. Yeah, okay, great. And so now we can just put, well, first of all, I think we don't actually need everything to be quite so long. We can do more like this. Yes. We need this much space, but not more. And then I can just throw in 2 glyphs of calcification, and like that should be fine. Or we could really upset everyone's sense of symmetry and do this. Oh man. They'll be so mad. I don't know, I'll do this, whatever. It doesn't, oh, I need to... There we go, I need to put the answer in. Got the solution area. This is kind of a cool, like, making a single arbitrarily large thing rather than many small things, separate things. I think that's kind of cool. Okay, pretty run-of-the-mill solution, a little bit expensive for whatever reason. Oh, because I used 2 of these arms? Yeah, I guess I'm not actually going super fast, am I? My cycle length here is 8. Is it 8? It seems like it's 8. Yeah, where in principle it could be as few as 6. Okay. How could you make it faster? Well, geez, that seems a bit like overkill. I'm imagining... So the problem is that we need to get 3 things out each tick, or each round. And that means that, and we can only have 2 arms that move from here to here, right? Like, you just can't have more. And what that means is they have to have some idle time, because one of the arms has to be doing a thing at least twice during the period. And therefore it has a period of 8, where we could have 6. So I was imagining that we could actually have these 2 arms take the thing to a totally different place. Have 2 separate, completely separate rope assembler factories that just both deposit their output into the same bonder. And that way, each of these arms could have a period length of 12. But in that time, we would produce 2 sets of rope. So produce 2 rope every 12 instead of 1 rope every 8. Or every, yeah, 8. And that would be more efficient if I could figure out how to do that. But there may be another solution somehow. If, so... Let's see, wait, what is this guy doing? His job is to extend that thing. And that's all he does. He's not the one who spins it, right? Yeah, so we could have him get out of the way, be on like a track up on the north half. Just sort of pulling over here. It would be more expensive, but it would get him out of the way so that what? So that we could have 3 arms all feeding this area. This thing would be here. These 2 would be here and here. And then we'd have a 3rd arm here that's grabbing it and pushing it. That way, each of these arms would only have a period length of 4. And it seems like we would somehow produce product more quickly that way? I'm not sure of the details. I want to try it out, though. Who knew that creating rope fiber could be so fascinating? It's not something I imagine they teach at alchemy school. Yeah. I made the perfect rope. I'm a genius. He's really quite absorbed. Yeah. Imagine how different the world would be if we applied ourselves to problems like this one. Okay, so let's take this and rename it to simple again, like we did for a previous one. And make a copy of it and call it cycles. And I want to try that little adjustment where this guy is like so, but on a track. And instead of these, we give him minuses. So first of all, that simple adjustment should still work, right? Oh, he needs to go back sooner. Well, okay, since we're aiming to minimize cost and not something else, or minimize speed, when we're not too concerned about area, we can just do this, right? Okay. I don't totally understand whether, like, this is actually going to make things better. It doesn't really seem like what I'm doing should help, but I still want to try it, since it seemed like the problem was that I had something with a cycle of 8. If I shrink this, put the thing here, and add another one here, whose job is to pick up here, and then reset. Now I have several things whose cycle length is 4, and one whose length is 6, which is as fast as we could possibly produce rope, since we need 3 in every cycle, right? So I'm not too concerned about the time that it takes up. Alright, back up. Did that actually happen? Everything looks like it has a cycle length of 6, right? And that means also that we should be pulling something out of this every single tick. So we grab, turn, remove, grab, remove, grab, remove, grab, remove, grab, remove. Yes, okay. So we're using up our input as fast as we possibly can, which means we're sort of like asymptotically as fast as possible. Wait a minute, this doesn't need to be a piston arm anymore. It also doesn't need to be quite so far away. We're sort of asymptotically as fast as possible. If someone were to measure our output after 1 billion years versus someone else's output after 1 billion years, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It would be just a couple of inches difference, right? But it would be much faster than our previous algorithm, which was producing 1 rope every 8 cycles, where we're now doing 1 every 6. Now, there may be some people doing fewer cycles than us, even though this is like sort of optimal, because the amount of work we do to get the assembly line started, I don't know if that's optimal. Might or might not be. But at any rate, this is a very satisfying part. I love, seeing the inputs be used as quickly as possible. Okay, great. So we're done with that, and we're also done with the episode. Thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. I usually say that in the other order. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-da!